So here in Seattle, Operation New Day. It involves the police, the DEA, just about anybody you can imagine in law enforcement. What we did is we shut down a couple of open-air drug and stolen goods, bazaars is what I would call them, block areas on public streets where this kind of stuff was going on, just right out in the open, right out in the public. We had one in the International District, and then we had one in downtown Seattle on 3rd Avenue between Pike and Pine, known as the Blade. Well, so we got that squared away. We've got those areas taken care of as far as everybody cleaned out. Now we're going after shoplifters, retail shoplifters. We're no longer kidding ourselves by saying, well, guy was really hungry. He needed a sandwich, so he stole that 70-inch TV. We're not even going there, right? We're going after these shoplifters. So what happened? One day citywide crackdown on shoplifting nets 49 arrests in Seattle. Now that sounds like a lot of people arrested. But guess how much stuff gets stolen on a daily basis in downtown Seattle by all these cracked out drug addicts who need their next fix that have been able to just go into these stores and steal willy-nilly and then literally walk a couple of blocks up the street and they've got their black market literally on the sidewalk with cops driving by. That's how it's been. That's literally how it's been. So now all of a sudden, we're going to go after a one-day citywide crackdown on shoplifting and get a handful of arrests, which is good. I think it's great. I mean, it's the right direction to be going in for sure. Will this have any long-term impact? Probably not. You need to start throwing these people in jail. And we've been talking about that. City has a list of like over 100 people that are responsible for 2,500 various different levels of crimes that have happened in the city over the last year. So they know who to go after, but this is all going to take some time. And just because you do one day of, shoplifting, anti-whatever it is, it's just not going to do much. But we're going to read about it anyway and see what the direction is that Seattle Police is in, because a lot of other areas are doing kind of the same thing. All right, we got to sweep out these homeless encampments. We got to do something for the businesses trying to sell stuff, because if they all pick up and leave, our tax base goes with them, and that's not good. So we're getting all these directives from the top down. Hey, fund the police. You got to do something about the shoplifting. You got to do something about the homeless encampments just being willy-nilly everywhere. So all of a sudden, we're kind of coming back a little different angle, and this stuff is going on. Now, the problem is once you let these issues fester like they have, they're not going to go away anytime soon. But we're going to talk about it, and I am glad to see at least something is being done. You can at least say, yeah, but remember that one day they arrested some guys, right? I mean, let's give them one day. No, it's just kind of how it's going right now. There's not going to be like an immediate, snap of the fingers and boom, wow, we're all squared away. Yeah, we're good to go. Crime way down. No, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while and a lot of effort. And I don't know that the city of Seattle has what it takes to turn this thing around, because it's going to take a massive concerted effort by not only the police, but by our mayor, by our city council, by the prosecutors, by the attorneys involved, justice system in general. And we haven't been real hard on crime here in Seattle. No, we've been the other way until it got to the point where, this isn't a good look. This is not looking good. Let's read about it. Before we do, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sean Reynolds. I own a couple of real estate companies. I read the news. It's what we're doing. Why wouldn't we? Seattle police officers working with stores involved the city's retail theft program. I've always got a program for something. Operation New Day. Program for this. Retail theft program conducted a citywide shoplifting emphasis on Thursday that yielded 49 arrests. As I've told you, if you're a listener, if you're a random listener to the Seattle Real Estate Podcast / News for Reasonable People, because we made that transition not too long ago, I had a shoplifting incident happen right in front of me at the exit from Home Depot here in Bellevue. And it was just one of those bizarre things. And where you watch it happen and you're like, that dude is trying to shoplift that entire cart of goods. This is so weird. And it happened literally as I was walking into the store with my girlfriend. We're going to buy some stuff at Home Depot. We just wanted to buy some random stuff at Home Depot. And the manager is like jerking backwards on the handle of a cart, and the guy trying to steal it's pulling the cart forward. And eventually the shoplifter just throws a bunch of stuff out of the cart on the ground, makes a big scene, starts yelling. And of course, I started following him with my camera, with my phone. I turned on the video, and why wouldn't I follow him? I mean, that's what you do, right? So it was one of those crazy things. Nothing ended up happening. The cops ended up coming. They talked to everybody, but the guy got away with his sidekick, who was in a car waiting out in the parking lot. And it was so blatant, so blatant. I would just never have the guts to take a cart, fill it up, and drive it out the door. I mean, I don't know. But here in Seattle, that's an okay thing to do. And I know it's an okay thing to do in a lot of cities because shoplifting, those numbers have gone through the roof. 8 businesses, including major brands like Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, and Fred Meyer, participated in the undercover operations. Another place they're selling all this stuff is online. It's on Facebook, on OfferUp. You see all kinds of new stuff. And when you see something new in a box, that's been stolen. Let's be honest. I don't know. I got a really good deal on it. The guy was just kind of desperate to sell it. Like, no, you dum-dum. It's stolen. You bought stolen property. Nice job. Well, nice going. I don't think ordinary citizens necessarily work that through. They're like, oh, but he just had it sitting around. He got it for Christmas, he told me, and now he's selling it, and he needed to get rid of it quickly because he's moving. Just one of those ridiculous stories. No, you're buying stolen goods. If you're buying something that's too sweet of a deal for you to actually believe, you're buying stolen goods, and that's going on all over. I think most people just don't understand because they don't read kind of the news that we do, right? The emphasis was part of Mayer's Operation New Day, which is intended to focus on crime spots in the city. Shoplifting has become nearly a daily hardship for stores throughout the region. This emphasis is something that was asked for by the city and is directed to us from the city hall because retail theft is a priority. All of a sudden, retail theft is a priority. And we're not hearing anything from the city council on this. They're like, hopefully nobody blames us for how bad things have gotten because it's not going to look good. And I want to keep my position here as city councilman. I mean, this is way out of control. The shoplifting issue has gotten way, way out of control. We talked about it last month when I was kind of highlighting the guy who had who knows how many convictions was stealing the 70-inch TV from Target in downtown Seattle. I mean, what a crazy thing. I mean, that's big. Those are big and heavy. I mean, like $750 worth. Couldn't you find something smaller and more manageable that's easier to sell on the sidewalk? In one of the clips that I saw, somebody was selling, I think it was Jonathan Cho, who's since been fired from Como. He got some video footage of all the stuff that was being sold on the sidewalk on the Blade, which is 3rd Avenue in downtown Seattle, just a couple of blocks away from Pike Place Market, where they hurled a fish at one another. There was a full size stand up vacuum cleaner. So somebody literally put that over their shoulder, grabbed it. Those things kind of big and awkward and bulky. Grabbed that and walked out the door. You either live in a city that has zero control in their crime, or you've just got an enormous set of balls, or you don't care and you're on drugs. Probably a combination of all three, right? The emphasis is something that was asked for by the city and is directed to us from City Hall because retail theft is now a priority. Well, last year and a half, it was a free-for-all and everybody did whatever they wanted. And now it's wildly out of control, but we're trying to get it back. And this was a statement made by Seattle Police Department Officer Aaron Johnson, who was part of a 12-officer unit that targeted the Lowe's on Rainier Avenue South. Good. I say good. Target the heck out of whatever you need to. Let's make some arrests. Let's get the word out. I don't know if that's going to do any good because I think so much of this stuff we're too far gone. So what does that look like? What's it going to take to finally reel this back? Because we don't have enough police resources in Seattle to be doing this kind of thing full time. We don't have enough police officers to have a 12 officer unit target, a Lowe's parking lot. We don't have the resources to do that. We can do that every now and then, but then that just allows the criminals, okay, yeah, they're not out today. Let's go do our thing. And then the stores are on their own for their own security to kind of handle what's going on. Seattle Police Department's community response group were joined by patrol officers, detectives of the General Investigative Unit, narcotics, and other units and operations performed in each of the city's 5 police precincts. They're bringing everybody on board. It's an emphasis deal, right? City and county prosecutors also participated in the emphasis. Did they charge anybody with crimes, and will they put anybody away for said crimes? That is the big question of the day, right? Now we arrested him. Unfortunately, 48 out of 49 got released into the wild. Police say their emphasis is to go after people stealing, not because of poverty, but because of profit. And that has been the storyline that has been buried forever because it doesn't really fit the whole thing of, well, they're really hungry, so they stole a sandwich and that's how they got arrested. That is a bunch of nonsense at this point. If you're not kind of understanding what's going on here, it's very simple. People are stealing from the stores because they know even if they get caught, they won't get prosecuted. Therefore, they keep doing it. And there's liquidity in this marketplace. There is liquidity. You've got a secondary market for selling stolen goods that is just rampant, just wildly out of control. You just walk a couple hundred feet down the road or up the road in downtown Seattle and sell your thing on the sidewalk and somebody will come buy it. And then you take your whatever money you got, 20, 30, 40 bucks, and you go and buy your next fix. I mean, this is a one-stop shopping center for these folks. So why wouldn't crime just go wildly out of control in these areas? A lot of time when we apprehend somebody, they will immediately tell us, I've been let off in the past. I'm usually going to sell these items. I'm a user, said Seattle Police Department Sergeant Jameson Mahler. So that's the story. These are not crimes of need. I'm really hungry. I could really use that sandwich. Seattle gives out stuff to people all day long. You're not going to hurt for food here. You're not going to starve in Seattle. You're not going to starve in Portland. You're not going to starve down in San Francisco. You're not going to starve in LA. If you want to go looking for food, you'll find it. So these are crimes of profit. They're making money so that they can feed their next fix. It's as simple as that. A lot of people don't see it that way, but they're the ones with their head in the sand, right? Police attempted to arrest 2 of those individuals in the Lowe's parking lot on Rainier Avenue when the suspect's vehicle, a Dodge Durango, raced out of the parking lot, as they do. The incident that I saw, they did not race out of the parking lot. They were driving some kind of small, I want to say Mitsubishi, maybe it was a Honda. I could look at the footage and tell you, but I don't really care. It was a smaller car. And they kind of just, backed up and took off, and nobody was really chasing after him at that point because, what are you going to do? You're going to get in your car and chase them? That's kind of the police job, right? So inside the Durango was the shoplifter. Police say carted out a boxed memory foam mattress and some pillows without paying. In the shopping cart that I saw, there was like a can of paint, a handful of construction supplies, just, like staples or something, just some random, maybe a paintbrush, just some random stuff that you're going to be able to fence because somebody else out there needs it. It's regular stuff you need on the daily. When I first started covering this stuff, a lot of people were telling me, hey, check out the laundry detergent. That's always a big seller. And I was like, laundry detergent? And I made the comment, why on earth would you steal that? Because it's something that everybody uses just about every day. Just about every day. So it's something that it's got value to it. It's got inherent value to it. Might not be a lot, but those things are like, are they $10, $15 for one of those big pour things? I'm not really sure. I always use the one Like, it doesn't have any scent or smell in it. I use whatever that is. They always come in white containers. I always use that. Maybe it is $15. That's a lot of money for a jug, and, so they've got value. So they know they can steal it. And then you'll see stories. I remember at one point in time, there was a lot of stories floating around of which kinds of things were locked up behind the cabinet. And at one point in time, it was hair products for certain folks of various different, nationalities. And it's like, why is my hair product, being held up like drugs in a pharmacy? It's behind the counter. And you're like, well, because obviously that is a big time item that's being stolen. And it took me a while to kind of figure out, oh, okay, this is really going on like this. This is wild. So police didn't engage in a vehicle pursuit because there was a baby inside this car. Bottom line is they arrested the woman. She had who knows how many, she had 21 warrants for her arrest in the last 13 years, including 3 open warrants. And that is the storyline that you hear day in and day out, because we've just got this total revolving door with the prosecutors and the judges. They're just like, just let them out. Can't have them here because of coronavirus. Well, that's pretty much over now, right? I mean, you still have got cases, but the vast majority of that stuff is gone. And talking to a lady in the bank today in the credit union, and she was excited not to be wearing a mask. And I asked her, hey, did anybody get upset when on March, call it 15th, whatever it was for us in Washington, when we went to the no mask policy? And she's like, no. Some people still with their mask, not wearing their mask, they will stand behind the fiberglass, separator thing and talk to me from there. But, just about everybody, it feels like everybody is over the whole Rona deal. And it does feel like that. I know in Shanghai, they are really locking people down, but they've got that zero tolerance policy thing. They're going after zero tolerance. And ask Australia and its residents how they feel that policy went. And in Shanghai, a lot of the cases are asymptomatic. So there's that. But no, there's stuff still going on. So custody of the 10-month-old boy who was in the car when said items were shoplifted, and the police chased him 10 miles away to apprehend them. The custody of the 10-month-old boy was handed over to her cousin. I'm sure she got out on bail. She's got 3 other open warrants. Maybe not. Maybe they're going to put her in front of a judge and maybe they're going to have a little talk on, the one case she's got going on this one and then the other 3 open warrants. About those other open warrants, you said you were going to show up in court and you did not. What happened? My faith in humanity is being diminished. No, this is just what's going on in a city like Seattle. You got all these issues of just craziness going on, and you've got a system that's kind of like, it's Seattle. It's kind of what we're doing. 49 arrests in a day. That's impressive. But what would be more impressive if we didn't get to a point where we needed to do Operation New Day and have the 49 arrests at all, like minimal shoplifting throughout the city, because people know they're going to do time. That's not where we're at. So we can't be, you can't hope for the absolute best. You got to deal with what you got. And right now in Seattle, at least we got Operation New Day kind of happening. So we'll see where it goes. I don't have any great faith that it's going to turn any major corners, but it is a step in the right direction. And for that, I am thankful. Let's call it that. All right. Take what you can get because you won't always get what you want. Something like that. All right. We'll catch up soon. That's it for me on this one. We'll talk later. Bye for now.